Hello, everyone, and welcome to another segment of Divine Femininity United. I am your girl, Dr. Bianca Mz Bee Lee, and we are here for another segment of our collective reading through Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender, written by the late, great David R. Hawkins. He is amazing. His work is absolutely phenomenal, and we have been reading through his work ever since Power versus Force, the first book that we have read collectively. Okay. This has been beautiful. Do you hear me? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I absolutely love it. I really, really do. And I hope you do as well. For those who don't have the book, I have offered, and I am continually offering the book for you to be able to utilize it. Read it on your own accord. Do what you need to do for your own reading time. Even if you don't read it with us or whatever the case, you don't have to. It's perfectly fine. I would like for us to come together and have a collective session. However, it doesn't necessarily have to be with us as long as you have it. That's my only focus. As long as you have the reading material, then that is perfectly fine with me. Okay. So if you want it, I'll show you at the end of the segment how you can get to the book that we're reading together. Okay. Otherwise, we are going live on so many different platforms right now: Clubhouse, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, all of the things, Twitter, the whole nine yards. So we're everywhere, right? So wherever you're listening from, I want to thank you for your presence, for your time, for your energy, for you being here to share this space with us. Okay. Without further ado, before we go into it, if you would be so kind, if you would share, that would be amazing. Thank you so very much. It's going to be archived for those who cannot listen to it right now. For those who are listening to it on the replays, thank you for being here. I appreciate your presence as well. Whenever you do get around to it, however it comes across your path, this is the perfect time. It's the perfect time for you to get it, okay? Alrighty, without further ado, you all, here we go with chapter 19. You all, we have made some way through this book. Chapter 19. At any point that you hear anything that I read that resonates with you, your spirit, your mind, your soul, feel free to comment, put it in the chat. Tell us how you feel, tell us how it resonates, and expound on it if you so choose. That's what it's there for, okay? From wherever platform you're listening from, make sure you do that because your voice is important as well, okay? Alrighty, here we go. Chapter 19, Achievement of Vocational Goals. Achievement of Vocational Goals. First section entitled Feelings and Abilities. Our thoughts determine the extent to which we manifest our talents and abilities, and they set the quality and quantity of our successes and failures. But what is it that determines and influences the direction of our thoughts? As we have seen, it is our feelings that determine and produce the kind of thinking that will lead us to success or failure in any endeavor. Feelings are the key to the expansion or constrictions of our talents, abilities, and actions. Generally, we are knowledgeable and well trained in matters pertaining to the outer world. Yet we are sometimes unknowledgeable and untrained in the inner world, the world of feelings. Because feelings determine thoughts and the thoughts we hold in mind determine outcomes, it is important to clarify the relationship between our feelings and the freeing of our abilities so that they result in successful action. To summarize what we have said about the scale of consciousness, and to make it simple, we can briefly categorize all feelings as either negative or positive. And of course, the thoughts that will result from them will be either negative or positive. Next section entitled Negative Feelings Related to Work. Negative feelings related to work. These feelings are always unpleasant and range from mildly uncomfortable to painful. They instigate the process of thinking and ideation that leads to I can't or we can't, regardless of the event, situation, or problem in which the person is involved. Negative feelings arise when we dislike what we see, hear, think, or remember. Our reaction to disliking comes in the form of such feelings as anger, grief, and anxiety. Our usual way of dealing with unpleasant feelings is to suppress them. And because of this, we assume that these feelings are part of and parcel of our thinking process. These error results because This error results because the feelings of dislike are being processed through our thoughts. Suppressing these feelings does not make them disappear. On the contrary, they will reemerge as negative thoughts. Negativity does not exist within a situation or event. Rather, it resides in our reaction to the situation as we see it. When negative feelings are acknowledged and relinquished, the situation can rapidly change in appearance from impossible to easily manageable, workable, and even quite useful. One of the most prominent negative feelings that block success in professional life is that of envy. The underlying dynamic of envy is that when we see someone else getting ahead, this triggers our own sense of insecurity. It's not simply that we see the other person's achievement and feel envy. Rather, the other person's achievement triggers in us a feeling of lack or inadequacy about ourselves. It triggers the feeling, maybe I'm not accomplishing what I should be accomplishing, or maybe I won't be able to accomplish what I want to accomplish, or maybe my accomplishments weren't appreciated by others and go unnoticed. Envy is painful because it arouses our own sense of inadequacy. And then we often resent the person whose successes have inadvertently provoked this feeling. Unconsciously, this resentment fuels our endless desire for strokes, which, of course, do not come our way because our wantingness repels the very thing we want. Mm. As the cycle progresses, we feel increasingly dissatisfied and unhappy in our job and alienated from our colleagues. There may be the belief, everyone is against me. Our family members may grow weary of our constant complaints about the situation at work. We may seek escape at the end of the day through endless television or overindulgence in food, sleep, drugs, and alcohol. That's the way out of this cycle. No, what's the way out of this cycle of envy and dissatisfaction? As we said before, the answer is to go within. With envy, we are constantly looking at others, evaluating their accomplishments, and comparing ourselves to them. We see the cost of this looking outward in the film Chariots of Fire, when one of the runners turned to see where his opponent was in the race. The moment he took his eyes off the finish line to compare himself with another runner, he lost that split second, which cost him the whole race. The man who won the race was motivated by the sheer love of running and to do his best. He didn't run to beat anyone. He didn't compare himself to other runners. He ran his best because he loved to run. When we look within ourselves, we see what the underlying feelings are that prevent our success: competitiveness, self doubt, insecurity, inadequacy, and desire for approval. Are we willing to look at these feelings? Once our feelings are recognized, it becomes obvious to us that they work against us. They drain our efforts and impede our success in the world. Our self doubts block the very recognition we seek. That's so true. Once we see the cost of negative feelings to our happiness and success, we will become willing to let go of them and the payoffs we get from them. For example, we become willing to let go of the cheap little satisfaction we get from blaming others for our lack of success. We become willing to let go of the sympathy we garner from those who listen to our complaints. When we let go of our feelings of inadequacy, we will find the envy of others disappear. We become like the winning runner in Chariots of Fire who loves what he does, delights in his success and that of others, and has boundless energy to excel in the world. That's good. And that is so true. Man, that is so true. Taking your eyes off of your own prize, taking your eyes off of the goal, the mission, or whatever the case, looking at somebody else and how fast they're going and what they're doing and their maneuvers and their techniques, that will cost you everything. And in that story, Chariots of Fire, that's exactly what it did. It cost the person who was in the lead. Now, this person was in the lead and looked back to see where the next runner was and how close that next runner was to him, only to lose focus and lose the race. Isn't that crazy? That's what happens. Next section, Positive feelings related to work. Positive feelings related to work. We just went over the negative feelings. Now, positive feelings. These are always felt as pleasant and include such feelings as joy, happiness, and security. They instigate a process of thinking and ideation that is exemplified by the thoughts I can and we can, regardless of the event, situation, or problem in which the person is involved. Positive feelings flow naturally when negative feelings are not in action. Nothing needs to be done to acquire positive feelings, as they are part and parcel of our natural state. This positive inner state is always there, and it is merely covered over by suppressed negative feelings. It's true. When the clouds are removed, the sun shines forth. The freeing up of abilities, creative ideas, talents, and resourcefulness occurs automatically as a result of the positive state of mind that ensues when the negative aspects have been surrendered. And that's good. I'm glad that they brought in the analogy of the clouds. When the clouds are removed, the sun shines forth. Notice that it didn't say when the clouds shine, when the clouds are removed, the sun then shines. No, it didn't. It didn't say that, because the sun was always shining, regardless of whether the clouds were there or not, right? But we couldn't see the shine of the sun as long as the clouds were there. But once you remove the clouds, you'll see that the sun has always been illuminating the entire time. So what he's saying is freeing up of the abilities, the creative ideas, the talents, the resourcefulness automatically as a result of the positive state of mind. It ensures that negative clouds are removed and surrendered. Letting go of negativity frees up inspiration to create an endless flow of creative ideas. For example, there was the case of a producer of an award-winning Broadway musical who attributed the success of the hit show to the letting go of negative feelings through the mechanism of surrender. There have been writers, artists, and musicians who came into a sudden breakthrough of inspiration as soon as a negative belief or self-limitation was recognized and surrendered. The same experience has been recounted by scientists who suddenly just knew the formula that would cure a disease. It is as if the energy field of creative genius is available and waiting for us as soon as we surrender the clouds of negativity that prevent its revelation to us. So, what he's saying is negativity can block clarity, creativity, genius, ideas, abilities, all of those things. Holding on to negativity. My goodness. And I know that to be true. Oh, I know that to be true. Because when you're in your emotions, period, when you're emotion driven, emotion ridden, and things like that, you can't see, hear, or think clearly at all. At all. So I understand that. That's good. Next section entitled Feelings and the Decision Making Process. Feelings and the Decision Making Process. We can simplify the levels of consciousness into three major states: inert, energetic, and peaceful. These three states are related to the decision making process. The first state, inertia, is reflective of the emotional levels of apathy, grief, and fear. The nature of these feelings is to interfere with our concentration on the situation at hand and engage us instead in concentration on our own thoughts, most of which are in the realm of I don't know, I'm not sure, and I don't think I can. This successive concentration of our own uselessness, cycling thoughts, renders us temporarily unable to perceive the full dimension and possibilities of the overall situation at hand. Man, while these negative thoughts and feelings are flowing, it is difficult for us to arrive at any decision. Sometimes we opt to stall the decision until we feel better. At other times, we proceed to arrive at a decision that we think will answer our questions or take care of a situation. Unfortunately, the decision that results is not sustainable in the long run because it is based on the feeling of state. It is based on the feeling state. And when the feeling state changes, the decision has to change with it. That's so true. This leads to inner insecurity, ambivalence, confusion, and a loss of confidence in us by those around us. In the computer language of garbage in and garbage out, the negative feeling state is the garbage in, and the decisions that come out of it must be on the same level. True. The second state, which is higher than inertia, is that of being energetic. The emotions underlying this state are those of desire, anger, and pride. The nature of these feelings is to interfere less with concentration than the previous lower state because some positive thoughts are allowed to flow through and mix with the negative feelings. This is a state of the go getter. Although things are accomplished, there is unevenness of performance because of the mixture of positive and negative thoughts and ideas. Negative feelings such as ambition, desire, or proving oneself tend to drive the go getter. And at times, the decision making is compulsive and impulsive. It's so true. My goodness, it's so true. Characteristic of this level of consciousness is personal self gain as the primary motivating factor. Therefore, many of the decisions are unsustainable because they are based on a win lose situation rather than a win win situation. A win win decision would have occurred had the feelings of welfare and welfare of the other persons involved in the situation been taken into account. So what he's saying is win-win, not just on your part, but on everyone's part who's involved in that process. I get it. I get it. But when you have the win-lose situation, it's I win, everybody else is a loser. Yeah, that's what that is. Using language related to the body's energy centers, we say that people on this level are motivated by their solar plexus, which is the third chakra. This means that they seek to attain success and to master the world, but they are self centered and driven by personal motives with little concern for the welfare of others or of the world in general. Because their decisions benefit primarily themselves, their success is limited to personal gain. Any benefit to the world is purely secondary, and the results, therefore, fall far short of greatness. The third and highest level is the peaceful state, based upon the feelings of courage, acceptance, and love. Because these feelings are purely positive and non disturbing by their very nature, they allow us to concentrate completely on the situation and observe all of the relevant details. Because of an inner state of peace, inspiration brings forth ideas that solve the problem. In this state, the mind is free of worry, and its ability to communicate and concentrate is unimpeded. From this state come solutions to problems that are placed in a win win context because everyone benefits. Everyone lends their energy to the project, and success is shared by all. This approach not infrequently leads to greatness, and it characterizes the noble projects that bring about far reaching improvements in our society. On this level, we discover that when everyone's needs in a situation are met, our own needs are fulfilled automatically. The unimpeded creative mind will work out a solution where everyone gains and no one loses. If we look at a situation and claim that a win win solution is not possible, that should warn us that we have some unsurrendered inner feelings blocking a possibly perfect solution. We need to remember the dictum that the impossible becomes possible as soon as we are totally surrendered to the situation. That is so true, man. Next section entitled Feelings and Sales Ability. Feelings and Sales Ability. Inasmuch as selling is a part of many vocations involving either or a product or ideas or our personal services, it is rewarding to look at the relationship between these three basic levels of consciousness and sales ability itself. The lowest or inertia state is governed by feelings of apathy, grief, and fear. It is obvious that sales ability is at its lowest. Salespersons in this state are often told by prospects that they are not interested in the product right now. This leads immediately to negative thinking and self-criticism with thoughts such as, they don't want my product. The very nature of sales activity exposes salespersons to rejection and disappointment. It's true. They may temporarily escape these feelings by taking coffee breaks or indulging in some personal conversations with other employees. However, their feelings have impaired their concentration and diminished their ability to produce resourceful ideas. The low self-esteem creates vulnerability to discouragement, which in turn creates expectations of failure. When thoughts of failure are held in mind, failure is precipitated in the sales situation. At this point, by acknowledging the negative feelings and letting go of the payoff from each of them, a person can evolve to the next level. The next level, the energetic state, is based on feelings of desire, anger, and pride. It includes a greater degree of vigor and drive. This facilitates better concentration on the work goal. However, because the feelings are somewhat driven, there may be excessive verbalization, which with more time spent talking to sales prospects than listening to them. This may typically lead to premature closings, pushing too hard, and creating marketing problems. Nonetheless, achievement of sales goals is possible on this level because of the higher energies invoked. One block to success on this level is the focus of self gain and the underlying viewpoint: I win, they lose. This self seeking motive is intuitively picked up by sales prospects and may lead to resistance. The thoughts characteristic of this level are along the lines of, I want to get them to buy it, so I'll get a good commission. That's true. And you can feel that too. If you've ever purchased a car, you could absolutely feel when the salesperson is like, trying to get you trying to get you to buy, and hurry up and sign here and do this, that's when they typically sound like a car salesman, and that's not in the best way at all. Okay. On the highest or peaceful level, based upon the feelings of courage, acceptance, and love, our ability to concentrate is at its highest. Salespeople on this level are able to listen carefully to the other person and place the sale in a context of what is beneficial to the buyer rather than to the seller. Because the mind is peaceful and creative, they are never at a loss for creative ideas as to what will produce sales or what will turn problems into solutions. The person on this level often converts customers to friends, and the customers tend to become loyal. Achievement of sales goals on this level is assured because what is being held in mind is the positive situation of win-win and the inner certainty that a win-win solution can be created in the situation. Often, surrendering to what appears to be an impossible situation quickly turns into a positive experience. This is exemplified by the case of someone who had been working in an art gallery. Sales were slow. She hadn't made a sale in weeks. She tried a number of consciousness techniques with herself and worked very hard at it. She utilized visualization, positive thinking, advanced sales techniques, and written affirmations. However, nothing came of it. Her frustration mounted progressively, with the accompanying feeling, I can't. Finally, in desperation, she just let go completely and surrendered all of her pent up feelings. Inside of herself, she suddenly felt free of all the efforting, trying, and striving. The inner tension disappeared, and instead, she felt at peace as she went to work that morning at the gallery. Within the first hour at work, she sold 2 copies of a sculpture, which interestingly enough was titled Letting Go. That's funny. Executives of a number of companies have documented similar breakthroughs. For instance, a partner in one of the country's most prestigious accounting firms, after experiencing success with inner surrender, eventually left the firm in order to share with others what he considered to be the most beneficial thing he had encountered in his life. He wanted to introduce the approach to a number of large corporations. He studied the outcome at one of the largest insurance companies in America. His study found that within 6 months of learning the technique, the insurance agent's sales increased by 33% over a control group. He concluded that success in the world is related to our ability to concentrate, which means the ability to keep our attention on one thing at a time without interference of other things or feelings. That sounds like meditation to me. A mind that is concentrated on a positive thought has the power to increase the likelihood that the positive thought will materialize in the world of events. The most successful people in the world are those who hold in mind the highest good of all concerned, including themselves. That's good. They know that there is a win-win solution to every problem. They are at peace with themselves, which allows them to be supportive of the potential and success of others. They do work which they love, and so they feel continually inspired and creative. They do not seek happiness. They have discovered that happiness is a byproduct of doing what they love. That's it. A feeling of personal fulfillment comes naturally from their positive contribution to the lives of others, including family, friends, groups, and the world at large. That's good. That's good. And actually, that is the end of today's chapter reading. Some of the chapters are really, really short, but they're still impactful at the same time. So next session is chapter 20. I believe you all, we're coming to a close here. If I'm not mistaken, I believe there's 21 or 22 chapters, approximately. But chapter 20, which we will read on Tuesday, is entitled Physician, Heal Thyself. Physician, heal thyself. Okay, that's going to be good because I believe he's going to activate the healer inside of you. Okay, this is good. Alrighty, you all, listen, if you do not have the book, feel free to inquire about the book. You can get the book only via email. It's an ebook PDF version. You can get your own copy and read it at your own pace or read it alongside us. Either way, you are welcome. And you can get that book by emailing me at info@biancamzbeelee.com. Again, that is info@biancamzbeelee.com. Or you can visit my website. It's on the screen for those who are watching via video, and it's also above my head on Clubhouse for those who are listening and will listen on Clubhouse, okay? Which is biancamzbeelee.com, all right? Follow me on social media, you all, Instagram, Facebook, Clubhouse, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of those places, Dr. Bianca Mz Bee Lee, okay? Dr. Bianca Mz Bee Lee. Mz Bee Lee. Listen, you all, I absolutely love you. I mean it. I'm going to give you back to your Sunday and give Sunday back to you. All right. I love you. I mean it. There's absolutely positively nothing you can do about it. Don't you even try it. We will see you back here on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here at Divine Femininity United. Peace.